one of the more amazing opportunities I've had here as a bird surveyor. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been passionate about birds. I started identifying all the different birds by song and call when I was in the 8th grade, and now, a seasoned field ornithologist at age 50, I still have much to learn. I was honored to add work for the Wisconsin Breeding Bird Atlas to my regular point count bird surveys for each of the last 4 field seasons, and 2019 was filled with adventures as I specialized in difficult to reach places in the backcountry. Backcountry atlas work is richly rewarding and results in woodsmanship to be proud of and memories that will never fade. I love it when that happens. As a young bear, heard the branch pop over there and just sat quietly and Bird Surveys 2019. Got 2 projects going on right now. One is for the Wisconsin Society for Ornithology. It's the last year of the Wisconsin Breeding Bird Atlas. And the other project, of course, is my usual natural heritage conservation. It used to be called Natural Heritage Inventory, which used to be called Bureau of Endangered Resources. Wisconsin DNR Bird Surveys. This is my 12th year doing bird survey work. And as always, I'm absolutely stoked. So I'm up at Oak Island in the Apostle Islands, and man, there's 2 things video can't cover very well. One is the absolutely amazing smells that come out of these forests, and the other is the coolness coming off of Lake Superior. As you move through elevations and changes, you can feel the changes in the environment. Wisconsin's proximity to Lake Superior and Lake Michigan gives the state a north coast and an east coast, the freshwater inland seas being so powerful as to influence the course of all of the most recent ice ages. Thus, the Great Lakes influence our geology, the resulting landscapes, and even the climate and the biomes of the state. This influence results in a tremendous diversity of plant and animal species as the boreal influences of Lake Superior mesh with the more temperate influences of the south. Where biomes collide, the ecological tension zone that results is birdwatchers' paradise. Working on a breeding bird atlas is a lot different than just doing point counts. We're looking for evidence of breeding. In this case, I've got a black-throated green warbler male that keeps giving a contact call. So I'm just going to stick around the area and see if I can get evidence that they have a nest. That male is carrying food. So that's a breeding confirmation because that affirms that there is a nest with young. The 5-year Wisconsin Breeding Bird Atlas seeks to reveal the breeding range and relative densities of breeding birds throughout the state of Wisconsin. Successful breeding by a bird species is a sure sign of good habitat. The mere presence of a bird does not prove that the bird is breeding, but a singing bird is very likely, at the very least, attempting to breed in an area, as bird song is indicative of territory and mate attraction. Birds that exist in an area in large concentrations, have been singing in an area for many days, are clearly paired together, or are demonstrating signs of clear agitation and frustration at an observer's intrusion into an area, are much more probable as breeders. But what we're really after is hard proof. Real proof of breeding is still best gathered in the least intrusive way possible. Detection of adult birds carrying large quantities of food to their young is the easiest and probably the best way to verify breeding. Still, the word easy is all relative. Such observations can prove very challenging. Other proof of breeding is the actual detection of nest building, or the carrying of nest material, the incubation of eggs, the feeding of young, the feeding of recently fledged young, the presence of recently fledged young, distraction displays by concerned parent birds attempting to lure the observer from the young, and, not to be forgotten, old used nests. The Wisconsin Breeding Bird Atlas will provide vast amounts of information that can be used by conservationists all around the state of Wisconsin. It will provide a fine-scale resolution and an outstanding tool that can be used to protect those habitats and natural resources that benefit the birds, and all of us. Playing a part in this exciting project turns a bird watcher into a bird detective. I found that each year in the Atlas gave me a better ear for bird scold calls, fledgling begging calls, and each year tuned my eyes to better pick up the importance and meaning in each and every behavior. I think I just saw about one of the cutest darn things I've ever seen in my life. 4 golden crown kinglet fledglings all snuggled up together in the very top of a little spruce tree, and they're preening each other and stretching their wings and tails and getting fed by the parents. So unfortunately, really tough to video, so you'll have to settle for this snapshot here and here. Oh, and this one's pretty cute too. A lot of forest interior birds nest right here on the ground, and so they're vulnerable to fragmentation because any fragment, including a trail, road, or even a storm blowdown or whatever, tends to become an alleyway for ground nest seeking predators like striped skunk, raccoon, and even red squirrel. And so heavily fragmented forests can actually become a population sink for species that nest on the ground. A standardized point count involves standing in place for 10 minutes collecting information about the community of breeding birds. Most of the data comes in the form of bird song, as birds use song to declare a breeding territory. Each forested count must be a minimum of 250 meters from any other count, so precise navigation is essential. The surveys must be started a half hour before sunrise, but completed 4 hours after sunrise, so while it may seem like a lazy, mellow sort of job, the real goal is to visit at least 10 properly spaced survey points per morning. That means a lot of hustle. It's a challenging hike. Catch my breath. Whew. All right, so I've been following old school compass on a straight line, working my way out. Let's check Onyx Hunt and see how my progress is as planned. So that's pretty perfect. Now I just need to veer just a little bit west of north, and there's another creek crossing coming up. So I can see the skyline of the bog. And so if I know if I stay just a little bit on the left of things, I'm going to be working that northwesting line. And if I follow a deer trail, I can probably find the best crossing of a creek, because as I mentioned in a previous video, deer are inherently lazy, and over generations they definitely find the right way to go. It's a good day. I have Acadian flycatcher and black-throated blue warbler on the same day, same property. Not bad. North and south. Wow. The mosquitoes are just insane tonight as I start my nocturnal survey. The dragonflies are helping me take care of them. Got my own personal little entourage. I'm the center of a food web. Been atlasing birds all day long between the rains, and pretty much everything's wet now, but I have a Write and Rain book, and my binoculars are nice and dry in their case, so I have no complaints. It's about 80 degrees, American Red Start, so I'm comfortable, and I plan on pushing this one as an extreme all the way into the nocturnal atlasing hours. I'm going to get out onto some human-made trail, about 1.5 miles to go before dark, so I'm doing okay that way. Last night was absolutely crazy. I went for a nocturnal bird survey and ended up chasing 3 fledgling long-eared owls through the alder and underbrush in the dark. It was pretty funny because I absolutely got my butt kicked on the backcountry block that I worked during the day. Was dehydrated, ended up bushwhacking another hour and a half. So today I'm thinking outside of the box habitats, where I'm basically surveying any kind of open wetland that can be glassed, any kind of floodplain forest that's accessible from a road, anything where I can boost species counts while letting my body rest. I'm starting off on a long journey here. It's evening, and I'll be getting back sometime in the very middle of the night. I'm headed out to do some nocturnal bird surveys, yellow rail surveys, heading out to a large sedge marsh where hopefully there'll be some rails calling. It's quite a bit of effort to get out there. It's quite a few miles of paddling, and right now I've got a little bit of a delay, but thanks to this beautiful red maple over the top, I am not experiencing any of the water. Check this out.